Qorvex is a little bit crazy, right? Powerful, but he feels a little bit clunky at times as well, which is fine because he is pretty much just a huge big concrete block with arms and legs and a radioactive core. He is our 55th Warframe. If you have him or when you get him, let me know in the comment section below what you think of him, whether you like him or whether you don't. He is an absolute unit of a tank. Mine has nearly 2k health and 2.5k armor, and his ability kit is centered around crowd control, radiation, damage and status immunity for you and your squad mates as well. He is a really good Warframe. Now, to acquire Qorvex, players must first complete the Whispers in the Wall quest, which is quite short, which rewards them then with the main blueprint. The component blueprints can be found as uncommon drops in the Sanctum bounties of Norg Prime, or you can also purchase blueprints from the Bird Cavia member, with the component blueprints costing 25,000 standing and requiring you to be at rank 2 researcher, and the main blueprint is going for about 50,000 and requires rank 4, which is the scholar status. Or you could just buy the FAQA for platinum. Now, Qorvex's new passive, because they changed it just before the update, is +3 punch through for his weapons, which isn't as good as what it sounded like before, which was radiation given to all of your weapons. In a controlled environment like the Simulacrum, he absolutely nukes enemies in seconds, especially if you subsume a defense stripping ability onto him, like Terrify, which you will probably do if you're running high-end steel path. But outside of that, his pillars do work pretty well, since you can ramp them up the frequency at which they throw out the damage or pulses by hitting them with his other abilities like the wall and of course his ultimate, the laser, as well. And the bonus is that these pillars slow enemies down, so they do have choke point potential. Now, his second ability, Containment Wall, where he slams those two walls together, is great for grouping, and it does synergize quite well with the passive of a 3-meter punch through, and of course it synergizes with his ultimate ability as well, since the Containment Wall just lines all of those enemies up for you to then shoot straight through them, either with your weapons because of the punch through, or with his ultimate, the laser beam, because it also has punch through. Now, his third ability, Dimetric Guard, is basically just a big pile of spinning concrete plates that float around you, and you also give it to your teammates within affinity range. These concrete plates will provide status effect immunity for anyone who has them orbiting them. So no heat procs, no magnetic, no staggers, no knockdowns for anyone who has those plates around them. However, the plates I think are quite hideous to look at. I kind of wish it was a little bit more subtle and not so in your face. And you can increase the amount of armored plates that orbit you and your teammates by killing enemies affected by radiation. Now, his ultimate ability is Crucible Blast. This is the radioactive beam. This deals high amounts of radiation damage, but it also causes a chain reaction to enemies already under the influence of a radiation status effect, which there will be since all of his abilities pretty much deal radiation. This ability will stagger enemies, but it will also cause a explosion chain effect, and the better your grouping is, the better the chain effect will be. So I've built mine with high power strength, decent range, energy regen and slightly negative duration, since the only one of his abilities that actually needs duration is his first ability, his pillars, which are just an okay ability in my eyes. They do bring a nice bit of crowd control by slowing down enemies, and then of course the pulses throw out an okay amount of damage as well, but that's the one I would subsume a different ability onto, like Terrify if you wanted to. Now for me, his wall for grouping, his fort for causing those chain explosions is where he definitely excels. His fort can be cancelled as well if you just want to start a chain reaction by casting the ability and not finish the cast, because it kind of locks you in place. Simply hit the cast and then hit it again to cancel it. Now, like I said, I've actually subsumed his pillars off in a few of my builds, and I have replaced them. One of those builds has Terrify, which is really good for armor stripping. It is really needed at higher levels as well. I also have Nourish. I was trying that out on one of his other configurations, and there are a few other abilities that I would really like to try as well. But let me know in the comment section below as well what subsumes you might be looking at to put onto your Qorvex whenever you get your hands on him. Now, in terms of builds, since this update changed the new player experience, and players are going to be able to get to this, I guess, area of Warframe a lot quicker than they were before, and they're going to be able to get their hands on Qorvex a lot quicker than before. If you're relatively new to Warframe and looking for a very basic setup, it would be something like this. Range, strength are what you kind of want, with a little bit of efficiency if you need it as well. Duration, you can keep that at 100 since only the pillars need it, and it's already 30+ seconds long. Now, if you're not new to Warframe, then this is the build that I've settled on for my Qorvex. I have gone for 3 Umbral mods because it's overkill, why the hell not? Adaptation for more tankiness, transient for strength, stretch and cunning for range, rage or streamline, whichever you prefer, to help you with that energy management. Arcane Energize for one of my arcanes, whose price, by the way, is absolutely plummeting now with the impending cross trade on its way. And of course, I've also got Molt Augmented for more power strength as well, while Growing Power is my aura mod, which also gives me additional power strength. So I do kind of have a lot of power strength. I've kind of stacked that. He has got 5 basic Archon shards equipped on him as well. 3 red for power strength and 2 yellow for casting speed. But I only really popped them on because they were all I had left lying around. But overall, Qorvex is an absolute brute of a Warframe. Really hard to kill, quite tanky, and quite powerful in a certain grouping scenarios. So you want to kind of focus on grouping as much as possible. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of Qorvex whenever you do get your hands on him, if you haven't already, or if you do, by all means let me know. Have a great day, have a great week either way, and as always, thanks for watching.